Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all. Welcome back to Swaroop IT Learning Solutions. Now, in this particular video series, we will continue to learn installing, configuring, and managing VMware Hypervisor version 8.x infrastructure. So, in the previous module, we have seen how to take a backup of our ESX host through Vim Backup and Replication Manager. Now, in this particular chapter part number 13 chapter 6 video, we will practically execute following steps: restoring VMware vSphere ESXi host version 8.0 update 3e 246777879 via Vim backup manager through full VM level backup option. Okay, so in the previous part we have seen how to take the backup, how to backing up the ESX host. Now we will see how to restore our ESX host. Additionally, we will go through one checklist through which we will confirm that whether our ESXi host recovery is fully successful or not. Okay, so let's start. So the first step for this particular module is make sure that ESXHOST01 VM is in powered off state. So if you remember, we have powered off our ESXHOST01 in the previous module. So I will go back to my machine and I will see this is my VMware Workstation console. So ESXHOST01 is currently powered off, completely shut down. Okay. Why we need to shut down? Because we need to completely remove it from our ESX VMware Workstation console, and plus we need to delete it permanently from our hard disk. Okay, so the next step is remove this ESXHOST01 VM from VMware Workstation inventory. So what I will do is I will not close this from here. I will simply click on here and I will press delete. It will ask remove ESXHOST from the library. I will say remove. It has been removed now. You can see only DC and ESXHOST02 are visible. Okay, so we have removed it from our VMware Workstation inventory or VMware Workstation library, whatever you may call it. Now next is a real step. Delete the ESXHOST01 physical storing root folder, that is JVMware ESXHOST01 for our case, permanently from our Windows 2022 base local HDD. Okay, so I will come back here and I will go to my path. This is my path. So J drive VMware, and inside that these are the VM folders. Okay, ESXHOST01, 02 and DC. So what I will do is, this is my physical folder of ESXHOST01. Inside that all the virtual machine configuration and VSDs are stored. So what I will do is I will simply right click on it and I can say delete one way, but I'm just clicking on it and just pressing shift delete. Shift delete means without going to recycle also, it will permanently delete this folder from our hard disk. So I will say yes over here. So complete wipeout of our ESXHOST01 folder. That means complete wipeout of our ESXHOST01 virtual machine. Okay. Now this particular scenario, these two steps, 420 and 421. The previous step we have removed it from our workstation inventory, and this step we have permanently deleted our ESXHOST01 VM folder also from physical hard disk. These two steps we will consider it as our disaster. Our ESX host is completely gone now. Correct? Now let's move on to the next step. So next step is step number 422. Launch Vim backup and replication console from Windows 2022 base system. So it's already been launched from here. You can see it's already open. Okay, so let's go to our next step. So next step is through Vim backup and replication console, home, click on disks and click on restore file share. Okay, so I will come back here. I'll click on home, click on disks. Okay, this is our disk. Okay, but don't click on that one, otherwise this menu will get changed. Click on disk again, and there is an option called restore. I'll select that one and I will say file share. Okay, next is through restore from file backup wizard, select restore entire share and click next. So there are various options available: instant file share recovery, restore entire share, rollback to a point in time, restore individual files and folders. Now what are those options? I will just explain you in brief. Instant recovery, which we have also tested in your previous module of vCenter server. That means it will create a dummy recovery. That means it will create another ESXHOST01 file folder either into original location or to alternate location, but a dummy one. Okay, you can test your backup while keeping your original share or keeping your original VM intact, and instant recovery will create a duplicate share about that. Second option is restore entire share. That means the original share is completely wiped out and you want to recover the whole share without the original existence. That is the second option. Third option is rollback to a point in time. This option is useful when you have taken a certain backups for multiple times. Means I have taken a backup today also, yesterday also, day before also, or 15 days back also, and I want to restore a backup of, let's say, which is 3 days old, which I am absolutely sure that it is a complete backup without any further errors. Because let's say for last 2-3 days I have installed one new patch in Windows, and after that my machine started to give me problems, blue dumps and all these things. Example I'm just giving. So if I'm sure that before installing the patch my server was working absolutely fine, so I will restore a backup which is 3 days old, but that backup should exist, of course, right? So this option is useful in such scenarios. Okay, and fourth one is restore individual files and folders. That means a particular share or particular VM having multiple files and folders, but only, let's say, a couple of files got corrupted or only couple of folders got corrupted. In that case you don't want to restore the entire share, so you can restore the individual files and folders which is part of your original backup folder, root folder. Your root folder is having 10 files and folders, but you want to recover only number 4 and number 7, so you can do that using this option. I hope I'm clear with all those options now. So in this case, in our case, current module, we'll choose restore entire share because we have completely wiped out our ESXHOST01 VM folder, right? So I will choose restore entire share. So next is through restore from file backup wizard, click add, select ESXHOST backup job, and then Win 2022 base your backup definition and click OK. So I will click on add. It will automatically detect my ESXHOST01 job and this is my definition. I will select this and I will say OK. It will now load our existing backup or the backup which we have taken. Okay, remember it has taken by its own standards. That means if I'm going to the backup folder, it will give me different extensions altogether. Okay, so it will load those backup configurations over there. So let it load. Sometimes it is taking time depending upon the backup size and all, but it will get loaded, and then we will proceed with the next step. Alright, so backup has been loaded. So let's move on to the next step. So once required file share backup has been loaded, click next. So I will click next over here. Next option is we need to choose the destination, whether you need to restore your backup to the original location or to some alternate location with the server files and folder. So both options can be used in a production scenario. If you want to go for the original location, it will restore your backup or your main ESXHOST01 folder in this case to its original location. That means JVMware. But in a production scenario, let's say you want to restore your backup to some different SAN storage, some different path, you can choose the second option also over here depending upon your preference. So I will choose original location over here and I will say next. Now next option is on restore options, select restore anyway overrides existing file option and click next. Okay, now these options are very important to understand, so I will explain all these options one more time. So keep restoring keeps the existing file, means suppose on a original location if the files are already present, it will skip, and whichever files are not there, it will recover only those ones. Second thing is replace older files only. Use if share was reverted to storage snapshot. Now this is a bit complicated option. That means it will first tally whether your backup files and folders are older or newer. So if you want older timestamp files, so it will replace older files only with the newer files. Means you don't want to the older files, you want the newer files. Okay, so it will replace your older files with the newer ones. Okay, is the second option. Third option is exactly reverse as compared to second. It will replace the newer files with the older ones. So use to discard unwanted contents changes. That means, as I said in the previous example, last three changes I don't want. I want only the older files which were working for me. So I will choose this option, replace newer files, means last 3 days files it will replace with the working older files. And if you want to vice versa, you can choose the second option. So don't get confused with these two options. First option will replace older files and keep new files. Third option will replace newer files and keep older files. Okay, and fourth option will be restore anyway, overrides the existing file. So fourth option will overwrite everything, whether it is newer file or older file, it will not count. It will overwrite everything, even if it is deleting the new files also. So it will overwrite everything and it will restore your full backup with the last known state. Okay, so for this purpose we will be selecting the last option, restore anyway overwrites the existing file. As we have not uh, having any file inside that root folder itself is not present, so this is the safest option for our case. So I will choose this one, restore anyway overwrites the existing file, and I will say next. So next step is verify summary and click finish. So in the summary it will show all the options for whichever we have just selected. So restore permission, specify attributes true, destination original location, and if the restored file already exists in the destination, override the existing file. Okay, so I will say finish over here, and now it will start restoring our original backup. Okay, so the next is monitor the restore process and click close once successful. So now let's see how much time it will take. So it has started the restoration job. It has queued up for the processing. A required backup infrastructure resource has been assigned using backup proxy also. Then 14 files, it has detected 14 files, 2 folders. Total size is 1.3 GB. And you can see immediately it has restored our complete backup. Restore completed successfully. Okay, it will not take that much time because the processing or the copying speed is very high in Vim backup. Okay, so restored completed successfully. Now I will click on close. Okay, so this restore has been completed successfully. You can see over here it is showing success. Now let's move on to the next step. Now since we have restored our original backup of ESXHOST01, we will go through one master checklist after ESXHOST01 restore. Okay, so what are those points? First point, we will be checking original folder path and file folder existence. Second, re-registering, opening and starting ESXHOST01 VM through VMware Workstation. Third, we'll be logging to ESXHOST01 Web Console through root account. Fourth, live migration of our vCenter server VM from ESXHOST02 to ESXHOST01. This is for testing our ESXHOST01's functionality. And the last one is powering on another available VM, Windows 11 CL, through vCenter server console to see that vCenter functionality is also working fine or not. Okay, so all those 5 points we will check one by one. This will be our master checklist for ESXHOST01's restoration successful status. Okay, so step number 431, verify that ESXHOST01 VM folder and its contents are recovered properly in original Win 2022 base HDD physical location, that is JVMware ESXHOST01. So I will come back here. I will go back to my VMware and you can see the original folder is back. Okay, I have not done anything. I'm continuing with my live sessions. So we have deleted our ESXHOST01 folder completely before the restoration process, let's say 10 to 15 minutes back, and now it has reappeared because our Vim backup restoration is successful. Okay, and if I'm going inside it, all the files and folders, original files and folders are recovered successfully. Okay, and the size of my VMDK, which is the 90 or 99% of this folder, is 1.3 GB. Okay, so this is the restoration process is successful. So coming back to the master checklist, so our first checkpoint, checking original file and folder existence, is completed. Okay, next is through VMware Workstation console, file folder, open ESXHOST01 folder path, select ESXHOST01 VMX file and click open. So I will come back to my VMware Workstation and ESXHOST01 is still not present because we have not imported that file. So click on open and now you can see it has already taken from the cache this file folder path. I will double click on it. Now it is showing as take ownership, so I will take ownership. And now you can see my ESXHOST01 has been imported. Okay, I will just make it in a series. ESXHOST01 is imported now. Let's move on to the next step. So next step is verify that the ESXHOST01 VM's entry is showing correctly in VMware Workstation console. So that we have just verified. Okay, ESXHOST01 is present now. Okay, So our second step or second checklist point is also completed, re-registering, opening and starting ESXHOST VM through VMware Workstation. Okay, so I will start this particular VM and it will start booting in a normal way. Okay, by the time it is starting, let's move on to the next step. So next step we will see, once the boot is successful, we will access our ESXHOST01 through local web console. So this booting will take another 2 minutes or so, so let it boot. I will pause this video for a while. Once the booting is completed, we will move on to the next step for logging to the web console. Okay, so as you can see, our ESXHOST01 is completely booted now and it is showing the correct IP and everything is back to original. Okay, so as we have just seen, now we need to log in to ESXHOST01's web console, local web console. So I will go back to my DC system, maximize this, open your browser and now ESXHOST01 login. So I will log in through root account. And you can see my web console login is also successful. Okay, so our third point, login to ESXHOST01 web console through root account, is also completed successfully. Let's move on to the next step. Next step is through Windows 2022 DC browser, login to vCenter server web console through SSO administrator account. So I will come back here and I will log into my vCenter server VM with SSO administrator account. Okay, let's move on to the next step. Next step is through your DC browser vCenter server web console, migrate vCenter VM back to ESXHOST01. Now we have migrated our vCenter server in the previous module from ESXHOST01 to 02 because we want to take the backup of ESXHOST01 in a clean state. Now since ESXHOST01 has been recovered fully, now it is up also, we need to take back VMware vCenter server back to ESXHOST01 to its original host. So I will select this VM, I will right click and I will say migrate and change compute resource only. I will say next and I will choose ESXHOST01. I will say next, VM network, next, schedule vMotion with high priority, that means it will start immediately, next, finish. So it will take again 1 or 2 minutes to migrate this vCenter server VM to ESXHOST01. You can see it has already done. Okay, so let me refresh this console. Let's see, it should be disappearing from ESXHOST02, but it's still doing something. It's still not moved. Let's see, it will move. but sometimes it will take 2 or 3 minutes, and now you can see it has been disappeared and it has moved to its original host ESXHOST01. So our live vMotion migration is also successful. Okay, so let's come back to our PPT. So next step is, after some time, verify that vCenter server VM's live vMotion is successful and VM is hosted on ESXHOST01. So this we have just confirmed, ESXHOST01 VMware vCenter server VM. Okay. So our fourth point is also now successful. Live migration of vCenter server VM from ESXHOST02 to ESXHOST01 back to the original host. Okay, and now the last point of our checklist, to start the Windows 11 CL VM, which is hosted by ESXHOST02 through vCenter Web Console. Now you must be wondering, what is the point of this particular checklist point? We have recovered our ESXHOST01. Okay, Windows 11 CL is hosted by ESXHOST02 originally also, now also. Then why we are doing is, we are doing this just to check, because we just want to check whether our vCenter servers, all the functionalities starting the VM also through vCenter server is successful or not, because we have moved back our vCenter server from ESXHOST02 to 01. We just want to check one of its primary functionality of starting the VM. That's why this last checklist point. Okay, right click on it, I will say power, and I will say power on. It should get started successfully. Okay, now you can see through the console it is started booting up. If I'm clicking on it, it will go to the web console, and now you can see it has started booting on Windows 11 23H2 operating system. Okay, so our start of the VM also got successful. Okay, that means our vCenter server is working fine with all its functionalities. Okay, so I will close this console as of now. So our Windows 11 CL system is also started successfully. Our VM is up now. Okay, so this completes our last point of our checklist, powering on another available VM, Windows 11 CL through vCenter server console. So our checklist is completed after the ESXHOST01 restore. Okay, I hope I am clear up to this point. Same way you can take the backup of our ESXHOST02 and you can recover that VM also. Same way, there is no difference. That's why I'm not going to cover it in a separate module. ESXHOST01 and 02 both are ESXHOST, both are running on identical operating systems, both are hosting some of the VMs, so everything is fine, everything is same as per the backup and restore process. Okay, so this completes our this particular module of restoring ESXHOST01 virtual machine through Vim backup and replication manager server. Okay, remember, in a production scenario it may be entirely possible that your ESXHOST01 or 02 or whichever host is a physical system, so you need to choose that particular reference option while backing up into Vim. Okay, Vim backup and replication software can be used to take the backup of your VM, can be used for taking backup of your physical systems, can be used for taking backup of your files and folders. Every kind of an data can be backed up using your Vim backup and replication manager software. Okay, I hope I'm clear with this concept. Okay, so thank you all for your time for watching this particular video. This is your host signing off from Sarup IT Solutions. If you like this particular video, do share it with your IT colleagues, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you all once again for your time. Have a good day.